friends, my name is Janessa Oriel and I'm the head of community at the Sell with Amy app. And I'm so excited to be able to recap. We're going to do a recap of our hashtag Fall eSummit that we had yesterday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can still get all the fantastic information. We're going to recap what happened yesterday, and then I'll be sure to include a link as to where to find all this incredible content to dive in deeper. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and go live over in our community on Facebook. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, if you find value and benefit in this, please feel free to subscribe. Additionally, if it's helpful for you, it's likely helpful for your friends and for your team. Please feel free to share in appropriate groups. We'd love that. Thanks so much. For now, let me pop over to the group. Hello friends, hello to our incredible hashtag powered by Amy community on Facebook. Today, I am still absolutely just, my mind is still like, in terms of what happened yesterday in our Sell with Amy Facebook group. So we had our Fall eSummit, hashtag Fall eSummit, over in on our Facebook page. So it's a public page, which means that it can be viewed by anyone, right? You can view it whether or not you're signed in whether or not you're signed into Facebook. You can view all of these trainings and they're there and they're ready for you. And so I want to be able to first say, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments if you're watching live. If you have any questions while you're watching on the replay, feel free to also include them in the comments. I will be happy to answer those for you. But until I get any questions, or if anybody has anything that they've been like, how does this work? What happens? What do I need? If you have an app related question, I've got my phone ready to go here. I am happy to be able to share that information with you. So for now, until I get some of those questions, I want to go ahead and recap. Before I recap, let me show you where you can find information now about our speakers. So if you go to Instagram and see right here, I want to make sure I'm pointing in the right spot. Right here, that first little thing, it says eSummit info. If you click here, you get to see some information about our incredible speakers. So first we have Holly. Holly is here, and if you ever want to find out about our speakers, if you ever want to see them on Instagram, for example, I'm just holding my phone like this so that way you can see. First up is Holly, and if I let go, it's going to move on to the next speaker. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce all these speakers here, and then we can go ahead and recap what they chatted about. So this is where you can find information or get to know our speakers a little bit more. We have Jessica here as well. Scrolling through, Haley is here. It's going to go faster than I'm ready for. And then we have Kelly. She's incredible as well. We have Angela speaking, followed by James. Ta-da! And then we have Joanna, who had some incredible things to share. We're going to go through their content in just a minute. And then we have Rainey as well. We have, Elizabeth. Look guys, my timing's getting better. And finally we have Rebecca as well. Now, in case you were not aware, we actually have I don't see comments, so either not commenting or I can't see them. Either way, totally fine. So we actually have a giveaway associated with this, and we're going to announce the winners of the giveaway. There's 2 items that we're giving away later today. We wanted to be able to give plenty of time for our friends, whether it be in this time zone or in time zones across the world, a chance to go ahead and check out some of the content, and make sure to like our page, engage with it. The winners are going to be selected from those who like our page and have engaged with the hashtag Fall eSummit. So I want to highlight that. Going back to, I'm just going to leave my little phone up here. Going back to it, let's go ahead and walk through. Oh, good. Hi, Jessica. I can see comments. Sometimes I can see them and sometimes I can't, which is totally fine. So thank you so much for tuning in today, both Jessica and everybody else as well. I wanted to go ahead and let's talk a little bit about the content that was shared yesterday. So again, this is all public content. I want to go through and highlight some of the topics. So in case you weren't sure which talk is most appropriate for you or what you're looking to expand or work on in terms of your business. I wanted to talk through the content or through the topics, and then what I'll do after is I'll go ahead and link all those videos in the comments after the fact, so you can quickly and easily find them. The easiest way to find them is just go to our Sell with Amy Facebook page. So without further ado, we had Holly speaking to following up without being icky, right? She said in her training, she actually said her daughter calls it cringeworthy, right? Or cringy, one of the two. Speaking from, I'm a parent of a preteen, and so cringy is definitely a word that she uses. Icky's probably more of a word that I would use, but she talked about ways to be able to follow up without having that like sales type, leading with that type of, vibe is the best way to put it. So she did an incredible job, and we really enjoyed watching that as well. Jessica's saying she's so excited to catch the replay on the last few that you missed. I'm going to take this off because it's making noise. Yes, there's so much content. So each of these topics or each of these speakers spoke for at least 10 minutes. And so with that, there's so much great content, and each of them had such incredible wisdom. And my favorite thing that I honestly didn't anticipate was watching each of these leaders speak without necessarily alluding to the company that they worked for was rather interesting, because I've seen leaders from other companies tune in and go, I hadn't thought of that. It's incredible when we've been working with, maybe it's your upline or your downline or your corporate home office, when you've been working with individuals that are learning on all the same topics, it's interesting to hear somebody else that's maybe been learning from a different had a different culture. So that's one of the things that we absolutely love here at the Sell with Amy app, is being able to see the different ways that people work their businesses, and then being able to share it to all, so that way everybody can apply it to whatever they may be offering, right? So next up was Jessica, and Jessica spoke about Can Everyone Do It? A model simple for your team and prospects. So she really dove in, and it was incredible to be able to listen to her perspectives on just how to make sure to connect with people, and how to make sure that it's not necessarily this big complicated thing. For sure, I really enjoyed her talk as well. Haley spoke to a word that I hadn't heard before, and so that was really fun. She was saying that you can tell those who had done some trainings on this because they would use this word, and it was talking about clienteling, and that was truly diving deep into personalized customer service, almost as she alluded to not like a personal shopping assistant at like Nordstrom, right? This higher end kind of customer service. And really it's truly sharing. If you see something that makes you think of one of your customers, you immediately reach out and offer that to them and say, I totally thought of you. It's not necessarily blasting, hey, I saw this, and sharing it for your entire community, but truly being really specific in how you follow up with everyone. I'm going to check my comments here. Oh, good. Jeannie, I think you're Jeannie. Yes, Jeannie. She said, can't wait to watch the replay for sure. Geraldine said, I watched as many as you could live, but with your time difference, you'll be catching up this weekend. That's totally fine. I do want to pause and allude to the fact that we put this in the most public forum possible. So that way it could not only be viewed live, but it could also be shared. And then it could, because if a video is in this particular format, people don't have the ability to share it here unless they're in this group. And sometimes people will share or tag friends that aren't in this group, and so they're not able to see that. So we didn't want to do our eSummit in this community. We really wanted this to be something that could be accessible to anybody, whether they're just getting started, whether they're considering getting started in direct sales, whether they are looking for an option to if they've been in the industry for a long time, if they're not in this group, this is truly shareable to all, and you can watch it on your own terms, right? You can absolutely watch it whenever or wherever you would like. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, you're good to go. I feel like we can do anything with Wi-Fi, right? Following Haley was Kelly, and Kelly chatted about an opportunity group. It was a great, I've seen this in practice, and it's great to see. It's truly an informational group, and it's cool to see how her customers are being offered the opportunity, but not necessarily the hard sell kind of thing, just highlighting the opportunity and what the opportunity is given Kelly, and she shares that with her team. She said there's no shopping links in there. It's truly informational, so that way if they had any questions, they can go back to the person that they work with. It's a great service that she provides, not only her customers but also her team members. That is really that was super cool to listen to. Followed by that is Angela. She really talked about, speaking of team, she talked about rallying her team and the ways that she includes her team. One of my favorite things that came up in that particular talk was she mentioned that she doesn't do a ton of incentives, and instead she relies heavily on her company's incentives, because those incentives are put there for a reason. The company knows what they want to strive for, and also if her team is striving for those incentives, then she benefits, as do they, right? So she said, she alluded to that. She also talked about some carrots and celebrating her team for a variety of things, and not just necessarily numbers. That was awesome. After that was James, and James talked about, he gave 5 very tangible tips on defining your personal brand. This is one where he went deep, and he was definitely talking about not necessarily just being about your product, your service, right? But also genuinely, what do you connect with, and how can you bring that to the table for your customers and share you, right, with your customers, and that will make them more loyal to you. So that was an incredible talk as well. Followed by Joanna, which Joanna blew my mind because she truly talked about, her topic was connecting with customers in a genuine and real way. And what she really spoke to was what your customers' objectives are and what your objectives are not necessarily congruent, but making sure that you're offering what you have and how that can be a solution to their problem. And that one was incredible to watch as well. Followed by Joanna is Rami, and Rami talked about the B word, and it's not, this is her joke and I'm using it, and I'm sorry, Rami. But talking about the B word, being busy, and how to work your business despite this busyness, or how to make sure that you can work your business and not let being busy get in your way. And so that was a great topic that talked about systems and genuinely setting yourself up for success. I enjoyed that tremendously. Rami was followed by Elizabeth, and Elizabeth chatted about not being spammy in VIP groups and genuinely working on a way to engage with your customers and prospective customers and keeping them engaged and just really truly tuning into them and making sure that they feel heard and seen beyond the sale. That was a great one as well. And then finally, the last live training we had was by Rebecca, and Rebecca talked about, that was a good one. She dove deep in terms of the importance of capturing information and how to make them eager to give that information to you. So she talked about specifically at events and like setting up your mindset, your why or your objective before an event, because we've seen, and she alludes to this, we've all seen those individuals at vendor events where someone's sitting back here like this, right? And you may be working, right? You may be working on your Sell with Amy app, but this is not something that's going to make people want to approach you. And so she talked a lot about that and gathering information using the contact form and how she does that. And she did a really incredible job, especially about gathering that information via the contact form and then offering them something in return. So for example, sending a video tutorial to them immediately after the event and staying true to your word on that. So those are the topics and speakers, and we had 10. So in case you didn't keep track while I was going for it, that was 10 speakers, and they were all incredible and had plenty to offer. Again, if you want some more information, if you watched those and you want some more information about our speakers, you can go to, again, Instagram, and you can go to the eSummit info, and you can see all their Instagram handles there, so forth and so on. And they were just really, really great, and it was so fun. Okay. There we go. It was so fun to be able to see them and really hear from different perspectives. If you watched any of the trainings, pardon my nose, if you watched any of the trainings or plan to watch any of the trainings, please drop hearts, right? Throw hearts or thumbs ups. And if you've gathered something, I did ask this yesterday during the event. At the end, I said, what was your favorite? And some people were like, how do you pick a favorite? But I'd love to know something that you learned that maybe you didn't know about before, or something that you plan to implement into your business. Ideally, before we meet next Thursday. I'd love to know what you plan to experiment with or try, and we'd also love to be able to cheer you on in that regard. One of the other things that I want to highlight, and I'm going to highlight this personal dashboard here, which is a little sad, but because it's my demo account and hasn't been touched for a bit. I also want to encourage you to go ahead and take a peek at your personal dashboard with 15 days left in October. We're halfway through, and we know that being in the fourth quarter, a number of friends have highlighted on Instagram, this is the last fourth quarter of this decade. My goodness, how does that feel? I would love for you to be able to go ahead and see where you're at. Take a look at your personal dashboard, and I think Rebecca actually encouraged you to screenshot it at the beginning of the day and then compare it tomorrow to today's screenshot. See what you did. So if you went through, these were your statistics, which are not ideal, right? I've got some social shop visits and some personal site visits, but let's say that I wanted to go ahead and send 10 messages. 10 messages today. I'm going to go a little longer than I normally do because we had such a great day and I wanted to recap it. But if you sent 10 messages today as an example, I will share with you, we have some statistics that we recently ran. We found that our friends that were on Pro that did less than 5 to-dos in a month earned $135 less in commissions on average. That's commissions, not sales, friends, commissions on average than our friends that were on Amy Pro that did more than 30 to-dos in a month. 30 to-dos in a month is a to-do a day. Can you handle a to-do a day? Now, I will mention this did not include social shop to-dos or social tagging to-dos. Heads up on that. So truly engaging with people, right? And we recognize, and Rami put a point to this, she said, if you take care of your to-dos early in the morning, you send out messages early in the morning. In the example I just gave, if you send out 10 messages right now, right, or earlier in the morning than right now, because I recognize it's mid-morning on the West Coast. But if you send out those 10 messages, what happens is those contacts tend to trickle and you get the responses throughout the day. And then you're following up with those individuals. Not everything that's shown here is included in those follow-ups, right? A lot of it's communicating and bouncing back and forth. Like we've talked about a tennis match with your customers in terms of communications. So if you send out 10 messages a day, and we had a few friends yesterday allude to not only sending out a message, but going and taking a look at what's going on in their lives on Facebook, because as they mentioned, you don't get to see everybody in your feed. Facebook is very carefully curating what they're sharing with you. So if the example was given a couple times yesterday, if someone just had a family member pass away as an example, and you reach out and say, hey, how's everything been? I'd love to see you. Do you want to book a party? Not ideal, right? So being able to go and take a look. 5 or 10 people today, go ahead and reach out to them, send 10 messages, and then see what happens, right? If you can commit to maybe 5 or 10, depending on where you want to end up for the month, if you can do 30 to-dos or 30 reach outs or 30 connections between now and the end of the month, what would that do for your October? It's worth a shot, right? I was chatting with James, who was a speaker yesterday, and he was saying there was no way he'd be able to connect with the number of people that he has done or has connected with without this app and the ease of being able to very quickly send those messages out and then correspond with them after the fact. And that it's really done his business a great service. And so I encourage you to try and do that today. If you're in for that, please give me either double hands raised or a thumb or a clap and say I'm in, or just say I'm in. I would love to hear what that does for your business starting today and then rolls through next week. So if you're willing to give 5, say 5 messages. If you're willing to do 10, 10, right? Go through and connect with your individuals. Lastly, I want to highlight some new functionality because we moved things around a little bit and I wanted to be sure to share this with you. Under to-dos, if you go to the settings, you used to be able to see every single template that the Sell with Amy app had. And the good news is we came up with so many templates, it was a little overwhelming. The bad news is There's no bad news. We recognize that that was a little overwhelming. So our team went through, and if you go to edit templates, now you're going to see the follow-up templates because you're in the to-dos, so you're going to see all those templates that are associated with follow-ups, and they're organized in the same workflow way that you had, that you're seeing in to-dos. So for example, connect with your customers, capture additional sales and new customers. These are all going to fall under that. Connect with your team because we have team related functionality, as you know. If you're curious about the team related functionality, please feel free to chime in below and I'll be sure to tag you in the team related announcement and how you can see those team related follow-ups. So that way you're connecting with your team and then re-engage, so forth and so on. If you go to settings, you have the ability to see all the other templates as well by going to settings and message templates. Now you have both those follow-up message templates and the cold message templates, which are not showing when you're going into your to-dos because they're not going to be generated from the to-dos. So for example, message a contact directly via their profile, share a wish list, share a product link directly with a contact, share. So all of these are here, and these are intended to be cold reach outs. So if you have any questions on that, please feel free to, yay, Anne's gonna do it. She's giving me the wave one. Yay. If you have any questions in regards to that, go ahead and drop them below and we'll be able to monitor the comments here and make sure that you get the answers to the questions that you may have. With that, I've been on longer than I normally go live, but I was just so excited to be able to share about our virtual hashtag fall eSummit. And so you can find all the trainings by clicking on that link or going over to our Sell with Amy page on Facebook. Thanks so much, friends. I look forward to hearing your responses to the eSummit and additionally, your success or your experience with the challenge of making sure to make some of your stats, changing some of your stats in the personal dashboard and seeing what that does for your business. Thanks so much. I wish you an incredible weekend and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday right here. Same place, same time. Bye, friends. My YouTube friends, thanks so much for watching till the end. I hope you have an incredible day and let us know if this was helpful. Bye, guys.